happened in about 10 to 12 years. Kenneth Copeland, your grandfather, actually sat down with a dazzling influencer, Bryce Crawford, recently. I'd love to know the history of why it's been 10 to 12 years since Kenneth Copeland sat down with anybody and just what brought this about.
My grandfather has never enjoyed interviews. He's not great at them, as people can see from the Inside Edition interviewer when he's been stopped. He's not really been great at apologetics. It's not a gift that he has. And so his whole stance for the last 2, 3 decades has been, I'm just going to let my message and my words speak for itself. And I asked him once, I was like, when you hear about people, talking about you in the media and you get wind of what they're saying, how do you handle that? And he said, I don't listen to the praise and I don't listen to the hate. I just keep my head down and do my job. And so he's kind of just always had that stance. Like, people are going to say what they're going to say, regardless if he answers questions about it or not. And to be honest, after 59 years of ministry and the consistency that he has had, like, you don't get that consistency and that type of tenor without just being a good person and having integrity. And he's just willing to stand on that. And so he's never done interviews. He's never cared to. The way that this came about is just a friend connected me and Bryce's manager. And they asked, they were like, do you think your grandfather would be interested in doing this interview? And because I had a sense of Bryce's heart and I've seen his interview style, I've seen him interview other people that he doesn't necessarily agree with, it was an easy yes. It was easy at first. The closer we got to the date, the more nervous I got about it, just from the simple stance of like, my grandfather's the wisest person I know. He's going to be 90 this year. So it's like, you put your 90-year-old up for an interview, your 90-year-old grandfather up for an interview. You get a little nervous about how it's going to go, but I actually thought it went really well. Bryce was so sweet to my grandfather. He was so respectful and kind. And, they actually sat down and talked for 3 hours. Like, my grandfather just told story after story, and Bryce was so patient and just had so much respect for him, which I appreciated. I know he's already like getting flack for even having the interview or whatever. And it's just, the respect level was maxed out for sure. I know Bryce doesn't agree necessarily on everything that my grandfather said. That was like his point of doing the interviews. He wanted to challenge my grandfather on the prosperity gospel, but I think it went really well. And it actually made me wish that maybe my grandfather did do interviews more often, because I feel like you see a side of him, like the side that I get to see, which is that he just really cares. And the way that he is in the interview is how he conducts himself in real life. So I'm actually really excited for everyone to see it. It's like, my
And if I,
grandfather has no ego, and he's thrilled at the idea of people like Bryce Crawford going out, even if they don't agree on everything, going out and getting people saved and helping people find Jesus. That's such a win for my grandfather. So it
yeah.
was so funny. My grandfather called me the next day after the interview. He was like, all right, I want Bryce to come back. We're going to do 2 weeks of the broadcast. I'm going to teach that boy how to pray. We're going to, do this and da da da. Like, he's so excited about what the future looks like of just being able to bridge the generational gap. And it definitely did. He definitely felt energized coming out of that. He was so excited. It was funny. Bryce actually commented on that when I asked him afterwards. I was like, be honest, like, how'd you feel like the interview went? And he said his biggest takeaway was, I think I need to read my Bible more. He was like, I'm reading the same Bible every single day, and I'm kind of taking away a completely different message than what he's taking away. And so Bryce was shocked at how much my grandfather would reference scripture when he would go to respond to him. But my grandfather, to your actual question, as far as energy goes, so energized. I mean, he left that just so excited about the future, and he left there super excited for Bryce. Like, he could sense that Bryce didn't wrap his head around it. And the questions that Bryce had, God took away his anxiety, but he's watching his friends and family and God not take away their anxiety. And so
Right.
my grandfather's takeaway from that is like understanding the authority of the believer. That's, people want to say like my grandfather's a prosperity teacher, but he's not. He's a faith teacher, and he
Yeah.
teaches how to walk in your authority as a believer. And that is the thing that I would love to see Bryce just, as far as my takeaway was like, Bryce has accomplished so much, and I am in awe of everything that he has done. He is also very young. And I hope that that is something that he can take away from this, is like actually growing in the authority that he walks in as a believer, and recognizing the difference between like praying to God to do something for you versus walking in the fact that everything God needs to do for you was handled on the cross 2,000 years ago. And there's a little bit of a difference in authority there that my grandfather confidently walks in, that Bryce, I think, will experience over time.